Welcome to the stream. Today we are going to be going over the North American tournament. Looks like we have 182 players planned. Let's go to Advanced Group 1. This is where we'll be viewing. Oh my, we've got some really good players in here. Let's see how things go. Looks like we've got a couple of Asian players. I love it. I like to see the diversity in here. We've seen quite a few winners here. If somebody in chat wants to tell me who it is that they want to spectate first, how this is going to work is that we'll spectate the first game. I'll just hop into the first one, GCU. I'll turn the camera off real quick. But whoever ends up being the winner of this initial sessions, that's when we'll go through and actually start watching first and second place continuously. Oops, and I forgot to set up the chat. That is okay. So it looks like we have Frog in the bottom left. I'm sorry, I don't speak this language. And in the top right, we have GCU. I do like the Mass Sniper. It looks like he went with the Marksman Reinforcement. I'm seeing that more and more now. And a Speed Specialist. Really interesting choice. I like to see that with the Phoenixes. Phoenixes tend to have a little bit of an issue repositioning, and being able to get them in the proper position early is strong. Now, unfortunately, I have to give this to GCU in the top corner, just because I think he has enough anti-air to make this work, but those crawlers coming in quick. You'd love to see it. Another great play, being able to close the distance, and if he's able to knock out these marksmen, those Fang might not be enough to clean up those Phoenixes. I love it. What great counterplay here. You can just see them piling in there. This is where things might fall apart, though. Unfortunately, I just don't think he had enough on ground to make it work. But as those crawlers continue to get upgrades, they can quickly overwhelm Fang. So we'll see if that's his movement here. Now, of course, having a specialist that buffs you throughout the game is very strong. The initial marksman's great. Oh, wow. And the quick skip into a subsidized Stormcaller. Interesting. Now, Stormcallers were one of his original units, so he's going to have a lot better time actually dealing with that. So I think he's going to be in a good spot there. Let me just make sure that the audio is good here. Interesting. So he went with more Stormcallers just to win the ground war and some more Fangs. I like that. He went for the extra reinforcement too. Going with the cheaper units, having these Stormcallers cost $15 or $50 less is phenomenal. What do we have for our Frog player here in the south? He hasn't spent a lot of his funds. In fact, saving a lot of that cash for a potential quick switch over later. I do like that he went with some more crawlers. It will help support him in the future. Jeez, I'm gonna have to grab that in a minute. Looks like things are going real well here for our guy on the ground. His Fangs will be enough to clean this up. Now, we haven't seen a heavy investment into the Phoenixes. Interesting that a lot of players start with the Phoenixes, but then they don't tend to go heavy into them. We should see what he's going to do next turn. This could be a pivotal moment. Let's see if we've got anybody in the chat. No, we're good. No new messages. It looks like we're going with the underground threat for even more crawlers. Looks like he wants to go heavy into the crawler spam. I do like that. Oh, double underground threat, a very popular choice here. Looks like we're going to have a lot of push and pull in this. Okay, so we've got an early crawler in the top right. Oh, wow, and a counter crawler play by himself just to be safe. I do like that. A lot of players use the crawlers aggressively. Here's the Lucifer. I was waiting for it to... Sorry, not Lucifer. Vulcan. I've played a lot of the zombie survival game where the giant flamethrower was called a Lucifer. We've got the Vulcan coming out here with the range upgrade. This is great. Unfortunately, though, the range of the Vulcan is still not greater than that of a Stormcaller. So the Vulcans aren't quick enough. So they will get mulched by these Stormcallers, and we don't see any saved cash. I do like this double Sentinel. That will just get rid of a lot of these useless units. Now, the thing about these crawlers in the backline does pull the units away, but as you can see here, it isn't really going to make that big of a difference for old Lucy. Though I do like it. He deployed weaker on one flank then to overwhelm the other. These secondary crawlers are going to come in and make a big difference, which should be phenomenal. Let's see what happens. The Lucifer's holding strong, dealing a lot of damage, but unfortunately it's just a little too late. I don't think he'll be able to clinch this one out. Looks like Fed is the GCU. Oh my god, it's Fed. Chill. Looks like we've got a pretty even spread on who people are betting on. I don't want to bet because I don't want to be biased. I don't think that's very chill. Real interesting play here. Looks like we've gone for another Lucifer, spending most of their cash again. I do like that. What did he pick up here? The senior attack specialist. I like that. More damage dealt. Opting not to go for the attack specialist. Perhaps not the winner's choice, but he did need cash on ground. He's choosing to go with numbers here to try and make up for the fact that he hasn't made any headway against GCU at this point. Interesting play. These flamethrowers really making a difference on the ground. Also, the crawlers getting some levels now, able to take a lot more hits. Still is not enough, but this right flank went the way of Frogger. I do like that. This could make a huge difference here. Will it be enough? These marksmen don't do great damage against the Vulcan, at least initially. They will recover here shortly, and with that, he will be in a much better position. That Stormcaller is also in a great position behind the units that it needs to be, but the flames make short work of them. Oh, he has regen. That is great. That nanotech makes a big difference in its survivability, and the Vulcan is going to close this out. First win for Frog. Love to see it. Looks like we're going to see a real game here. It's pretty neck and neck, honestly. Deployment specialist, quick pick by GCU. I like that. Looks like old Frog is taking a minute to pick it through. Also going with the deployment, honestly, would be my pick as well. Going with some Fang. Fang early just to absorb shots, not a bad idea. Unfortunately, he does have a lot of Stormcallers. These Stormcallers just chew through Fang, so we're going to have to see what he goes with. I like this another unit of Crawlers. I want to see some upgrades on these Crawlers. Make them actually work. So far we have seen... There it is. I was going to say, so far we have seen these flanks be pretty open to attack. These will be shut down real hard initially, unfortunately. Oh, and that sentry's just going to eat another unit. So the initial Fang aren't going to make it out, but these Crawlers will come back next turn. That is great. They'll be able to do a little bit of damage. Again, just pulling units off the front line. Having your units come in succinctly is a big part of the game. And not being able to defend your early game units or your squishy units, these marksmen, is actually just devastating. Finally, we see that shield go down, so now the Vulcans can get to work. The extra range, the extra damage is going to help significantly here. Once again, it's going to be the Titan Vulcan versus everybody. If he takes out this work, oh, that's going to be huge. He's going to have to really hoof it across the field, but it looks like most of the enemy units are tracking on him. This is phenomenal. This is exactly what we want to see from this Vulcan, or at least this is what Frog wants. The quicker these Stormcallers get downfield, the worse it will be, but they're spread out, they're weak. This is another win for the Vulcan. Having that huge HP pool is going to make a big difference. I even think with the energy conduits going down here, it's not going to make a big difference. In comes the Vulcan. He's targeted on the wrong thing, but there just isn't enough damage to bring him down. We're going to need to see some melting points. We're going to need to see just something. It's going to be a rough one. Good kill here by GCU, or by Frog into GCU, I should say. Looks like it's going to be a real interesting match. Let's see what's going next. Quick pick on the smoke bomb. Interesting tech choice. I don't mind it. We have another specialist coming in for the extended marksman. Mwah, absolutely love this pick. Does his mark... Okay, if he gets the extra ammunition, does he deal extra damage? Yeah, getting this would be great once these marksmen start to level up. Not super important at this point. Going with more crawlers. Still no upgrades. Pretty much across the board. Besides the Vulcans, I don't think he has any other upgrades. Very interesting choice. Opting for more meat is more better. There's this melting point that we've been looking for all game to get rid of these Vulcans. Past like turn 3, we've really wanted to see some of these guys come out. Now we have a really interesting shot at doing it. Let's see if he's going to be able to pull it off. Let's see what's going on here. All right, everybody is deploying out. Looks like we have a lot of units kind of just flowing in. We didn't see any funny business here. Those crawlers were taken out exceedingly quickly. It doesn't look like he's going to have much of a chance to close the distance. However, these flamethrowers really making a big difference here. If we can't get a couple of units into this melting point early, then that melting point is going to cinch it for him. Man, those crawlers just staying in there, staying tenacious, staying rude. You love to see it. It is going to be another quick win. I love the mass Phoenix here. Really interesting counter pick. Do the Phoenixes? Yes, they have the range upgrade. Crucial and critical. Having them outrange some of these snipers is absolutely phenomenal. Both players taking a momentary pause here to see what is going on. Incendiary Bomb, great versus Electromagnetic Pulse. I'm not sure about the Electromagnetic Pulse here. Decreasing movement is great. These flames won't do anything to a quick Phoenix tech choice. I like that he went hard into the Phoenixes. What else do we have going on? Not a lot. Oh, I don't think that sentry's worthwhile. This turret or this sentry missile might not be the thing to go for here, just because this is already cleaned up. He doesn't really need these Stormcallers turning around, so that's kind of just $50 down the can. Let him. Now you've invested $100 on each flank. It cost him $100 to put them there. That was already done and over with. I do like the double Vulcan. If he can clean up what's on the ground, he has enough snipers to deal with the Phoenixes. Crawlers going into the back end. Slowing down the movement, slowing down the shooting is good. Not allowing them to hit him where he needs it. Having all of his units turn inwards could be a big change here for the Frog. GCU's army is now pushing forward, looking strong, looking healthy. Those extra flame units taking out all of the little boys before it really became an issue. But the Phoenixes outranging the snipers. Range of 160 versus the snipers of 210. Actually, they have the range upgrade. They might be enough to take them out. And also having these extra guys in the background, I don't think it's enough. But if these snipers can focus in on the Phoenixes, he's going to be in a much better shot. Those Vulcans are going to cinch the game, though. Game 1 over to the Frog. Well done. GCU started with a very strong lead. Looks like it wasn't quite enough, but hey, it was great. Alrighty, let's get out of here. Looks like that was a quick win. The rest of the games are still going. Let's see if we can't do HQ versus W. Pretty even looking match. We just want to see who comes out on top, and then we'll start moving forward. Looks like we've got a lot of ranged units. Everybody kind of hugging the back. Oh, those missiles coming in hot and quick, dealing huge damage, absolutely destroying this left flank. I don't know how much longer we're going to have to last here. Mind control's finally kicking in, but these rhinos have so much health. Oh, it's a quick crushing loss here. Looks like HG, excuse me, is going to have a real rough time coming back from this. On the next point, we're going to have to look and see what units both players have and kind of differentiate between the two. Lots of damage coming out on HQ. Looks like most people are actually betting on HQ. Not a lot of help for W. Ooh, nuke coming down quick. Very interesting choice. Electromagnetic blasts. Both electromagnetic blasts have been played out. Looks like we have a Wasp Swarm tech choice. Both players opting for this left-hand flank. I would like to see some more units on the right. Hard to make the switch. But potentially. Oh, man. No, both these units are well deployed. Having a few units in the back is going to help. These wasp swarms coming in from behind. These wasps could make a difference. He does not have a lot of units that shoot up besides the phoenixes. In fact, going heavily on wasps could be phenomenal. Did he take the Yes, he took the tech choice. He did not take the check choice. The arc lights cannot shoot up. The only units that are shooting up right now are these elite Fang, and these phoenixes. So right now the skies are fairly open. So these phoenixes are only going after this overlord. That's their only job right now. If these overlords were to start spawning wasps and we saw some wasps coming down, that could make a big difference for him. Right now he has to deal with this super heavy rhino who will never get mind control. That thing just has way too much life. The tech goes out, takes out the early shield, but that's exactly what the shield is there for. The rhino is on side. The rhino is dead. Looks like HG is pulling it out, though. He's able to start pushing these rhinos off of his flank. The wasps in the background did exactly what they were meant to. Took out the tower right at a crucial moment. Both towers going down together. Now the mind control unit has a chance to start turning the enemies against each other. That could be huge. This little wasp, although it's not doing a lot, will eventually chip down this last energy tower, which could be the deciding factor in this coming engagement. If these phoenixes go down, there's nothing else that shoots up with any meaningful value. This mothership will cinch the win. These fangs just don't have the capacity to deal with it. Phenomenal. And if he is lucky, the mothership will move in and engage these stormcallers before they get out from under the shield. Unfortunate. I don't think he's going to make it. That would have been great, though. Being able to get that shield out of the way early would have been phenomenal. You love to see that at the end of the game as you clean these things up. W's got a real rough choice here. He does not have a lot of anti-air. If HG chooses to and is able to go into heavy wasp tech, this could be a great switch over for him. Let's see. W's choosing not to grab anything. Going with the senior manufacturer specialist over here for HG. I do like that. HG having the ability to summon in some giants a little bit cheaper is great. Spawns the Overlord in, immediately gives it level 2. We're seeing a quick nuke come in. HG's got to be careful. He has to be thinking about shield play. He has to be thinking about the potential for a nuke. At this point in the game, one decisive unit could make the difference. Oh, I love it. He knows his units are concentrated. He knows they're in danger. Putting them in a shield makes a lot of sense. His units engage very quickly as well, so he's going to be in a spot where he needs to use this. Having these little nasty shits in the front too, excuse me, having these terrible little crawlers early does make a big difference because he's able to block a lot of the enemy damage. A sniper in the middle, interesting choice. I think he just had the extra cash. Where did he put that sniper? Okay, it's right with his blob. Not a bad idea. He won't have the wasps play to actually take out the enemy turrets this time. But having those initial launches go the wrong way makes a big difference. It really helps his shield survive longer. Not only that, it helps him get these units out of the place. Unfortunately, it looks like this is going to be a devastating strike. The entire left flank crumbles. The right flank didn't have much of a better shot. This mind control unit, although I really like it, the hackers are fun, he did not have a chance to do it. Oh, real damaging. Lots of fun, though. Lots of fun. Let's see what else we have going on. Wow, these games lasting a while. I'm going to hop into... Let's do Skeky Likes You versus Safe. We'll be able to tell which of these games will last longer after the first round. Oh, geez. It is madness already. We're seeing an early call-in on a nuke. I don't know if this shield will last long enough for the nuke to make a difference. Spawn and hit the wasps. the nuke's coming down. The shield just isn't enough to deal with it. Now, the nuke does hit units in the air, but I don't think that will matter much. This rhino in the back dealing damage. Is it going to be enough, though? It is not. Looks like early win going over to safe. Wow, this rhino's surprisingly tough. Once you get them upgraded, they can last a long time and take a lot of damage. Mustang's great, good anti-air, even without the anti-air upgrade. Quick win for safe. Of course, it's been a little while, but fantastic. We've got one game left. Wow, somebody with 360 combat power versus 98 combat power. Or a 3,160 versus a 60. Let's see how this goes. This could be an interesting game. All right, we're seeing 2 nukes, some missile strikes. The missile strikes will kill the shield eventually. Actually, no, it won't. Of course not. This nuke will, though, but I'm hoping that the Stormcrawlers win. Dachshund surrenders. Easy game. All right, next round starting in 3 minutes. Let's go through who the live rankings are currently. It looks like we have our early winners and, of course, our early losers. W put on quite a performance, though. I'd really like to see what he has to bring out later in the game. I did like the Frog. He played a great game versus GCU. That was very much back and forth. I hope you guys were here to see that. Really did make a big difference there. Faye could be good. Safe looked like he knew what he was doing. The rest of these players, I did not see very much. GCU also put on a great game. So did HG. Both of these players could easily make a comeback. I'm going to take a quick pause and grab my water, and I will be back in a moment. Whoops. Players to look out for. Definitely W. I think he did a great job. Alrighty, everybody. Sorry about the clicking and the clacking. Just knocked over my glass, but everything is okay. 40 seconds left. Let's go in and see which players we're going to be looking at. I would like to see some more unit modifications from these players. Another great addition to the game would be able to go in and see what their units look like. I'm actually going to leave that as like rules and feedback, I think, on the Discord. Just because I think being able to see how these units played out and what the players are using for those units is great. I'm going to try and cover that a little bit more in the coming battles. Let's say who's up next. 1 second to the round. Will this swap over? All right, I want to take a look at W versus Fliffy. Fliffy's already won the Asian tournament group. Let's take a look, see what goes on here. $70 seconds till Fliffy pops in. All right, I guess that's not going to work. Dachshund did win. We could take a look at Dachshund. Dachshund versus Wee Tai. Let's take a look-see. Both players are in. early spawn, still getting set up. I do like it. We have the marksman reinforcement, very common, and the additional 50 supplies. If this goes longer than, what is that? 100, 200, 250 points, he needs to last 5 rounds to make this worth it. That's going to be tough. These tanks are also going to be a big issue. The sledgehammers will just crush through most of his line. This is a hard matchup, at least initially, for Dachshund. He's still got $50 in the bank. If I were him, I would look at potentially saving that. Being able to unlock a $50 unit every turn is phenomenal. Also, just having that pay off unit card upgrades is great. Looks like we're seeing some early crawlers too. These crawlers will get munched by these arc lights, but that's not really the unit of contention here. It's the tanks. He needs to make sure that his stormcallers are protected. Right now, he's giving him a good screening behind these arc lights. He spent the 50 on the early sentry turret. I'm not really huge on getting this early sentry missile. Not that I don't want to win, but losing in the first 2 or 3 rounds really doesn't matter that much, just because the amount of damage that you take is significantly less. That took out all of those little bug boys, but watch as this arc light just devours them. That arc light, given the way that those spawned in, would just instantly kill it. Now, unfortunately, these arc lights do get one shot by this boosted up sniper. He doesn't really have anything that can stop these tanks from coming in at this point, but he does have the Stormcallers. The Stormcallers will be enough to eventually finish them, but unfortunately, there is just one crawler in here that is going to complete... Or, there is not. They just can't get the ammo in. I don't think this is going to be enough. The snipers are just a little too quick. They need to get reset every single time. Once these come down, there's no combined fire here. It's just not enough. He needs a little something. If Dachshund just gets a little something early, just to give him a little bit of a screen, that would have worked. Unfortunately, he was out of cash. He's got some extra money now. I do like this subsidized crawler. Portable shield is good. Both players opting for the portable shield. Really interesting. If I click over here. Oh, nope. Why did that not work? Oh well. We do have some more interesting plays here. I don't know how to switch in between these two. Nope. Whatever. We do see the sledgehammers coming out. I like the sledgehammers. The sledgehammers do have the combat shield. I like that he slapped that on early. A lot of players will actually keep that for a little bit too long. And that can lead to some issues where we don't have... you spent money on something that you just don't play. Another sentry turret here from Dachshund. Sentry missile. Not sure if that's the play. He could easily be getting a lot more of these crawlers, which right now he just needs meat. Killing off those tanks early, phenomenal. These rhinos are going to just absolutely decimate him, though. Nothing he can do about it. If this rhino levels, this portable shield all of a sudden becomes just a double health bar. That rhino will be essentially level 4 in health if that does happen, which the rhino is just crushing through. It should get a ton of XP for knocking out the turret. Well, we know where his next upgrade is going. This has been just an absolute stomping for Y. I'm not sure how much more he can do about this, because getting that early rhino with the shield is normally the go-to. In fact, I have seen it quite often where when that shield comes out, turn 2, you buy the rhino, you have the rhino over here, you put the shield on it, and it just runs roughshod throughout the enemy. There's really not a lot that they can do the following turn with a rhino with 4 times regular health with unupgraded units. Even if you purchase a fortress, it is just rough. We also see some cheeky crawlers. Amplifying core for both players. They're following very, very similar ideals. I do love that upgrade. Called it. You know, just having that upgrade early makes a world of difference. It could be the thing that actually wins him this game. Shields, more sledgehammers coming down. He is aware of this, but he doesn't need to worry about it. That arc light is more than enough to cover his flank. Not playing the amplifying core. This turret is not going to be enough. So far, he spent $150 on turrets, and it has not done anything. This mind control unit isn't going to be enough either. It is just going to be a rough one. Opting for designating movement path. This can actually make a big difference. The Rhino's going to go in after the tanks. I do like that. It is a not used upgrade, but one of the most powerful because it just allows you to have a little bit of interaction. Everybody's split up and firing at crawlers at different angles. These tanks are not going to be able to do enough. Missile coming in, doing some damage. Luckily, it will slow, which makes a difference. But you can just see how long it takes for that mind control unit to get through a level 2 Rhino. The second crawlers come in, and it is just a gory mess. Wei Tai looking like he's going to be able to pull this out in a big, big way. The rest of these crawlers are going to come in. That's it. That is it. What does Dachshund do from here? What can he do? The air is still open. There is not a lot of air units that can shoot up. There's like, what? 2 snipers? If that. Opting for the acid blast and the... well, actually, what did... He got this single launch missile. It's not enough. This unit has more than 3,000 health. Significantly more. More than 5,000 health. I'm not sure what we're going to see from here. This acid spray is great just because it reduces the health, it does damage, and it lowers their defense over time. These Stormcallers in a really bad spot. He's rerouting the Rhino. This is great because being able to route these units, not as in make them flee, but being able to tell them where to go, can shift the balance as well. Having different flanks open, so he's thinking, oh crap, I need a bunch of units to deal with these flanks. Well, not really anymore, because now this Rhino is going to go the exact opposite direction. If Dachshund survives this round, he is going to be in a really rough spot. I don't know how he survives this. Having these crawlers come in, honestly, I'd love to see some upgrades, especially on one of these, but that's okay. Wei knows what he's doing. He's already spent all of his cash. He's saving $50. This might be the end of the game. Probably not, though. If Wei pulls this out, the following turn is going to be the end of the game. So banking some cash, even just $50, could help him pick up a new tech choice. Here comes the acid. It will eventually eat through all of these Stormcallers. I do love that the Rhino's running at an angle. Look how it just avoids enemy damage. Now he's coming in hot, but he pulled unit aggro that whole time he was running. There was nothing that anybody could do to stop him. There was nothing shooting him up front. He was able just to let all of those missiles track him in the back. Really great play there. This Rhino didn't even need the extra health. That is just phenomenal. These mind control units, these hackers just haven't done anything. Huge investment, no payout. Stormcaller's actually doing more damage for a lot less money. The hackers are a tough unit. They don't grab Rhinos quick enough. If a Rhino has enough health, it just doesn't have the ability to push through. This is it. This is probably for all the marbles. Both players have to be thinking that this is the end of the game. That lightning storm is generally a great cincher. Pick up a lightning storm, pick up a nuke. Knock him out with the enemy shield. Knock out enemy shields as quickly as possible. That should be game. Yeah. Every match is a win and lose, a teachable moment. Hooray! Check out the stream to see what top players are doing. Looks like we've got some interesting play. Oh, going with a mothership. I've been mentioning it the whole time that there is nothing stopping these guys from going into the air. Right now there's what? One sniper? Are there even any fangs on the board? No, fangs aren't even unlocked. Right now the only anti-air unit in this entire army is this marksman. If the mothership kills the marksman, he wins the game. If the marksman shoots the mothership, he loses. It's as simple as that. And this is a great choosing this photon emission as well. Cutting down on the damage that this acid will do. This Rhino is actually in a great spot, just being able to track across the field. I honestly don't know how he wins this. Is there any other... Oh, the enemy Overlord might take it for him. Just because if it gets range on him early, or if the sniper starts dealing damage, this could be it. And if this mothership goes down, Overlord, I should say. That's it. Early victory away. Fantastic job. You love to see it. Really good job here. It looks like this mind control unit actually getting some business done. Might be able to take over a tank. Great. Man, it just takes a while to get him, huh? The right flank was actually won here, but we don't have anything that shoots up. The game is going to end at this point. Really good game. I like to see both these players continue forward. Wei making a great show for himself. And excuse me if I'm saying the name incorrectly, but really, really good game. You absolutely love to see it, and I'd love to see more of these players doing as much as they can. Lots of kills for the mothership. It really doesn't matter. I would have surrendered at this point. He's just kind of letting it play out. Good game, good game. And boom. Hooray! Dachshund has another 700 health left. Let's see what he does. So he knows the mothership's coming in. Senior attack specialist, quick pickup from Dachshund. He's going aggressive. The Overlord's got jump drive, so it can reposition. It's also just quicker. Going heavy on the Overlords. He knows that the enemy only has one Overlord to deal with, so he's coming in with his own Overlord, but this one has repositioned. The storm coming in, that will kill off all of these Overlords. He needs to be thinking about this. He knows that he's at wit's end. Has he called in the extra supply? He has not. He has 200 supply sitting on the table. Grab those 200 supply, put up your shields, be ready for a nuke, be ready for a storm. He knows that the enemy has a lightning storm. He knows he's about to die. Wei pulling out all the punches, saying, hey, I'm going to reposition my units. I'm going to get the extra money. I'm going to drop the lightning storm. Fantastic plays here. Dachshund needs to be thinking aggressively. Dachshund did grab it. He also grabbed the range. I like that. That way he should outshoot these Overlords. He needs to be able to fire immediately. Like, he needs to get the drop on them. Unfortunately, not going for the shields. That is his entire left flank pretty much done. The photon shielding will help a lot, but it will be a little bit too late, you know? I just don't see it happening. Not only that, he's not going to be able to shoot the units he wants to shoot. His Overlords will probably aim on the ground. Once again, this sniper making a great show for itself. That guy deserves a promotion. That is the second time he has killed an Overlord. What a guy. Old Rambo himself. The Overlord actually getting, or the Rhino actually being taken over by the mind control unit. First time for everything. Unfortunately, this is a level 2 Overlord versus a level 1. There's only one way that this ends, and the victory once again goes to Wei. Great game, though. Absolutely phenomenal. Oh, oh my. Yeah, that guy just didn't even get a chance to turn around. Dude, does he have the range upgrade? No. They just have a long range. 140, baby. Let's see who gets the tank. My money. The sniper? Nope. Looks like the Overlord took it. Great job. Dachshund didn't really stand a chance there. He tried, though. I'm just going to let them know. Great game. No, I don't know where that was coming from. Let's see if W is still in it. I've been wanting to see him kind of carry through. He's been making a good show for himself in the first game. Let's see what we've got going on here. Both going for advanced specialists. We have an aerial specialist with extended sledgehammer range. Interesting. A very nice spread. We do see Phoenix from both players. Very good mix of units. I do like these sledgehammers being able to shoot out from a little bit further. They will get instantly sniped now, though. Great thing about sledgehammers is that they do normally take 2 sniper shots. It having 50% less health does reduce the damage taken. Quick push through on the left is going to severely weaken the right side. Looks like Fleefy is going to take this early initial game. Or an early round, I should say. Lots of upgrades coming out from both of these players. Mostly the range upgrades. Range upgrades and attack upgrades seem to be dominant pretty much everywhere. Looks like that's W's major loss. Vengeance voting for old Fleef. Orbital bombardment's coming down from both. Well, they both know where they want to hit. Now, they should be thinking, my enemy just took an orbital bombardment. Where is that best? How do I counter it? Fleef going for a double incendiary bomb and orbital bombardment. Right now, W's got to be nervous. He's got to be thinking, how do I make sure that I don't die on this one? You know, what happens to me if I don't get enough, if I don't have enough shielding? My enemy definitely is going to be hitting where my units are grouped up. So far, he's choosing to ignore it. Let's get some shields out. It will save your units. If your units survive a bombardment and the enemy does not, you almost always win. Come on, he's got the money in the bank. He can make this happen. Does he avoid disaster or does he choose to die? Looks like he's thinking about it. So let's take a look at some of these units here. We have some upgraded. Oh, I love to see it. He's got him in the wrong position, though. Oh, nope. Looks like Fleef smelled the, or Fleefy, I don't know how to say it. The lovely little dog smelled the blood in the water. He knows what units are most important. He's going to make sure that they're safe. W actually opting to get a little bit more health, and he's going to summon in another unit. What is he going to choose? Out of the units he has unlocked, a Stormcaller might be worthwhile. Some Mustangs could be good. Oh, but we're seeing the double counterplay here, and it looks like Fleef ran out of time. But this is just going to be devastating. Having these missiles rain down unopposed all over your forces. There isn't anything that old W can do on this left-hand side, and the right is now crumbling. Lots and lots of crawlers coming in, dealing damage. It looks like his crawlers are going to lose that fight. There's 2 units versus the 1, and that should be game here. Devastating loss for W. He needs to be thinking about when these are called out. Like that, having that early 300 point just lose the game is real rough. But it's not over yet. I've seen players come back from worse. W has a chance to make this work, but he needs to be thinking. I don't love that he had... Oh, this parasitic ammo is phenomenal. If you can get that on something like a Lucifer or something that just deals a lot of AoE, that is great. I don't like seeing these heavy units on the front line. I would have liked it to see if W had pushed his units back just a little bit. That way he wouldn't be coming in all at once. Right now, Fleef has the ability, if he wanted to, not saying he needs to make this transition, but if he wanted to, he could put Stormcallers out. He could put motherships that spawn wasps, just anything that has a long travel time, that is spawning units or has very high range, like a couple of snipers. Opting for a Rhino. Interesting choice. Purchasing and unlocking a Rhino. Thinking to himself, what makes me win more? Or what is a good tech choice later in the game? You know, what does my enemy do to counter me? He's opting to bring the Rhino in against a unit of unguarded fangs. This Rhino might not make it in. But I do like the idea of having one. Having it unlocked, being able to get the upgrades here pretty soon, makes a big difference. Not investing too heavily into it. He knows right now it's just a Shadow Rhino. And it is definitely going to die. Yeah. Not enough on that Rhino, but that's okay. It will be in there next turn, which makes a big difference. We're seeing a much more even spread here. This melting point needs to get on target early if he's going to make this work. Nice. Taking out that Overlord early does mean that he has aerial dominance, at least for the short term. Wow, and these guys deal so much damage. You love to see it. Looks like a great win here for Fleef, though. Yeah. It's just not going to be enough. I was going to say W. No, W is going to cinch this. Interesting choice. I don't know. No. No, he's not going to be able to pull it back. GG. Great job, W. You tried. You had a little bit of units on the floor. Really interesting choice in some of those unit techs. I'm not sure what he could have gone. After a little while, it gets to the point where you're just in such a rough bracket that it becomes difficult. Finally, we have Skeky. We love Skeky. He's our little underdog, our plucky underdog. Let's see if he can't cinch out a win here. Lots of sledgehammers. We're seeing double orbital bombardments. Both players opting just to take it on the chin. You know, I don't know why players don't like having shields. I know it's annoying, but you know your opponent is going to be trying to close out the game here. Rhino getting toasted early. These bombardments coming down. It is just a riot of color and noise. Both players in a really rough spot here. The secondary nuke coming out here for old Skeky. Takes out a mothership and the entire left flank. The center is also going the way of Skeky. But these motherships are coming in with a vengeance. Being slowed down heavily, the wasps are going to make a big difference. It looks like Pixie is out of this. Well done, Skeky. Or Skay likes you. I like both these photos. They're very, very attractive. GG, everybody. We've got another 3-minute break until the next round. Give me your predictions. Let me know what's going on, and we'll move forward from here. I would like to leave some quick feedback here on the Discord, though. Alrighty, everybody, and we are back. Let's take a look at our top players. It looks like we've got Safe, Y, Fluffy. I will see if Fluffy and Way are in a game. No, it looks like it's Safe and Way. Let's take a look here. Both top players. But I don't want to leave my house. Um, Twitch? Question mark? Ah! I love that these guys. I love that these guys are all in here. Good luck, have fun. Both players being nice. Looks like we've got the Rhino coming in later. Now, the thing about the Rhino is that you can transition hard on this third round. Being able to save up a bit of cash for the first 2 rounds and then going blammo right into it can make a big difference. Interesting that Wei chose that. Safe going for the marksman. I really, really like that. It seems to be much more common. It's a very early start. 250 extra points can make a difference. It will be a very hard right-hand push on his part, then a quick closer. Grabbing some more crawlers and another marksman is an interesting choice. He's definitely going to overpower his opponent in this early game. This right flank is going to be absolutely decimated. But these arc lights in the background might be enough just to close out the remainder of these crawlers. Crawler on crawler war. Unfortunately, there's just 100 more crawlers on that end. But they all were grouped up in a devastating loss. I don't know if this is going to go the way we initially thought. I think the spread of those crawlers is going to be real rough. I think Wei takes this based on great positioning. That extra sniper is not going to be enough. The arc lights are a great counter to crawlers. We didn't see any anti-horde besides these storm callers. And unfortunately, going heavy on one flank has left him open. And it's a flank he didn't even win. Real rough. I wonder what we're going to do next. How is he going to be able to pull this back? I'm not sure if he can. I'm trying to think about what he does next. Mustangs would be huge to get rid of the enemy crawlers, or a line of tanks. Tanks are really great at taking away... Oh, both players just opting for the Wasp Swarm early. We see Safe going for a very aggressive play. Wei tending to be a little bit more passive with his. He's going in the back right-hand corner. Oh, but it looks like Sentry smelled, or Safe smelled what's up with a Sentry turret. That will at least decapitate Wei for his initial wasps. Opting for more arc lights. I like to see that, because right now Safe needs to be thinking about tanks. He needs something that deals with these crawlers early and is aggressive. What did Safe end up grabbing? I'm not sure. He didn't upgrade anything. He doesn't have any units coming into the back. Ah, there's the Rhino. This Rhino will make a huge difference. Of course, Wei himself is getting his Rhino next turn. I would like to see him use this $50 to unlock the Rhino. He doesn't need to spend it. Sure, he can save it. There's no reason not to save it. But I'd like to see those $50 spent next turn unlocking more Rhinos, then getting another upgrade for those Rhinos. If he was to save a lot of money, having this initial lead is great. But so far, Wei, at least on stream, has won every game without losing a single round. The sentry turret going off, taking out a lot of the enemy. Unfortunately, these will still be able to get behind him and take care of what needs to be taken care of. This Rhino is not going to be able to deal enough damage early to make it work. That, oof, it's devastating. Absolutely devastating. And it looks like that's going to be a quick game for Wei. Very good round. A little bit of these little guys kind of just creeping in when needs be. I don't think he has enough to cinch this out, though. As the Stormcrawlers turn, it's just going to be a rough one. It's going to take a minute to get there. I'll enjoy a sip of water. Ah. Delicious. Water. It's the stuff that keeps you alive. Unless it is bad for you. You know? I do like this sentry turret in the background. He figured, hey, those wasps were coming somewhere. Unfortunately, with the way that they spawn in, these don't always kill them. I like to actually put mine a little bit further away, Kind of like how Wei just had his centered on the tower. Almost all the units have a shorter range than these sentries. So having your sentries just positioned here, here, or directly on the tower as Wei did really does make a big difference. But that is Wei's first loss. That's got to be rough for him. Safe was able to pull this out in a big way, and partly that was due to his great deployment of the wasps. Having those wasps come in when he did, Wei was not able to Wei was not able to counter it. Both players opting for a missile. Both will get just about as much. Here's this Rhino, level 2. It's going to make a big difference. Beeline straight into it. Now, we don't really see anything that shoots up. Does Wei have a single unit that shoots up? He does not. So this Overlord will just win the game. It's going to take a while, but it will just win initially. Rhino on Rhino war will be kind of funny. The bigger Rhino will win. Oh, and choosing once again. Wei likes to be able to direct his units. He's saying, hey, run at this angle. It's kind of the angle it would have run at anyways, but who cares? Let's see if this missile is enough. It is not. Barely even scratches the Overlord. The Overlord will dominate and win this game. It is just a matter of time at this point. Man, look at the punches go. Ah, get out of here, you. And that's that. You gotta love the punches. Bam, 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 bam. Good use of the Stormcallers. Eventually, this will just win. Oh, I guess there are some Fang for a tiny bit of anti-air. Over the course of about 5 years, it will be enough to kill this Overlord. Overlords, though, don't have the most health compared to other giant units. And I think that's very important because they're flying, obviously, but just knowing that as you get them does make a big difference. And now we wait. Great tech choice here to grab these Overlords. I don't like the Overlords being so close to the front, though, just because if you grab a melting point with the extended range, those Overlords always die. There's just really not much you can do to defend them. Unless you spawn wasps. You better hope that those wasps don't get immediately eradicated by what else is on the front line. Safe, pulling it out. Great job, the European runner-up. Going against the Asian Grand Champion. Let's see. Orbital Bombardment. Second unit. Okay, I like this. Safe going for the throat. Wei going for more units. Safe playing out another Overlord. He's already out of cash and getting the range. I like that. And I like that he's pulled this back a bit. Phenomenal. Getting a couple of melting points now would make a big difference as well. We see some Phoenixes coming out. Only 1, 2. There's the 2 that you need to snipe out an Overlord quickly. These orbital bombardments will not be enough to actually kill... it will be enough to kill most of the units here. But I don't think it will be enough to save this Overlord. Does he have anything else that shoots up? He does have a couple of snipers to provide escort. Both players on their last didgeridoos. Wei needs to be thinking, all right, he's got an orbital bombardment. How do I defend against this? Opting to grab the mobile, being able to move his units once again. He loves to do this. I'm not sure why he's directing this Rhino directly into the tower, though. I guess he just wants to score that quick kill. It is defended somewhat by crawlers. Obviously, they're not going to be enough to fully defend it, but that's that. I love the macro cannon coming out on this thing. Overlord artillery, blammo, just making quick work of those rhinos. And that orbital bombardment makes a big difference, just being able to get in there and deal the damage. Took out those Phoenixes early. Battleships are the kings of the skies once again, being able to rule the day. This Rhino is fully leveled. He's ready to go, level 2. Wei actually taking 2 losses here. This is the first time we have ever seen Wei lose health in a round. Oop, come on in. Oh, I think my dog just tried to kick open my door. Quite fun. Double crawlers. Okay, he knows that he needs meat. Having some meat on the ground will make a big difference. I like that as a strategy. Um, let's see here. Going heavily onto the Overlords does make a huge difference. I think that he knows that, hey, I just need to be able to rule the skies. I'm not seeing really any extra... More crawlers, really? Why? Wait. You need to start shooting up, bud. Making his crawlers ferocious, not a bad idea. But how do you go up? I love this. These phoenixes having the extra damage is great. They will be able to start chewing through these overlords. But the moment the overlords turn, these phoenixes are dunsies. If the overlords turn. He did get enough crawlers. There's one phoenix dead. There's two phoenix dead. That's... Oh, no, he has another set. This pair needs to come in and it needs to hit the overlord. If it does so, right now, I get his plan. He just swarmed the overlord with junk. The overlord does prioritize hitting units on the floor instead of shooting the things that are killing it. This is a huge overthrow. Fantastic. He said, why do I need guns that shoot up when I can just have a million little guys that you'll be killing anyways? Really interesting counterplay. Not having to invest heavily in the Phoenix. Both players opting for the Lightning Storm. The Overlords now being able to reposition does make a big difference. Oh, he's just going ham. He's putting them all over here. All four of them. He knows that this is a wash. He just needs to rule the skies. Way playing out the Lightning Storm where he thinks the Overlords are. The Overlords, of course, are not there. We're seeing the Wasp Swarm come back down. There's nothing in the back line that shoots up. Grabbing a couple Fangs, though. Those will shoot up. Wasps are great. You love to see it. I'd love to see some Wasp upgrades. Yeah, there we go. Give them a range upgrade or a shield or something, and then having the Overlord spawn Wasps next turn really does help with the counterplay here. We're seeing a lot more crawlers. These guys are fast, they're mean, they deal a lot of damage once they're in the way. But if these Overlords are grouped well, they do have a potential to survive this. Way sitting on 100, Safe sitting on 200. Both players thinking about how they can possibly make this work. I do like that he pulled the Overlords off the front line. That makes a huge difference in being able to maneuver these units. Having these crawlers come in and just chew everybody up is phenomenal. Oop, I do like the sentry turret. He remembered. He's putting down 2. This will pop these phoenixes. Having these phoenixes die early is a huge, huge event. Look at him go. No more phoenixes. That means his rhino is able to survive a little bit longer, and it means that the overlords are significantly safer. Both lightning storms decimating the right flank. And I think after the dust settles, we have some wasps. We have some fang. Do we have enough? No. 800, 1600. It's not going to be enough damage to knock Way out of the park, but he needs to be thinking now, okay, you know, this is no longer what I need. I need a little bit more anti-air. Having these overlords be able to reposition, be able to give each other cover this whole time is a big, big difference. We still have players voting for Way, though. Way is at his last life now. If Safe can pull this out, he's in a really good spot. Safe going for speed. I like that. Both players going for speed. Okay. They know that the game is ending here, so they're opting for a cheaper option. I don't mind that. Also, having these crawlers be fast. Really? Overlords of your own? They're going to be unupgraded. I'd love to see these overlords all get some upgrades. It's a huge investment. It's $1,000. Double overlords. Interesting. Way realizing he's at the end of his game, choosing to be able to add a little bit more range. I like the shield. We need... Safe is thinking. Safe's got 1 minute to figure out how it is that he pulls this off. Sentry early. I like that. Take out the Fang. We have a huge amount of crawler fighting going on over here. Not important. It's all on these overlords. What could we see to counter this? Some Mustangs that shoot. He's not going to be able to get enough of them, though, within one turn. Potentially a mass Phoenix with the range upgrade. He does not have the range upgrade currently. If he had gotten another 4 sets of Phoenixes, it's just going to be rough with these wasps. This mass Overlord is going to be a big issue. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's choosing not to move them either. I don't hate that. He's sending off this Rhino in a strafing run, hopefully to draw damage. He does not have the shield on the Rhino, as we saw in the previous game. That shield really did make a big difference. All right, the Rhino is done. Let's see what else we can do here. The Overlord's only having the 2 upgrades, which is not bad. Looks like all of the flanks are collapsing. The center is now going over to safe. Wei losing his last Overlord. He still has 4 Phoenixes, but they are all shut down. It's all over. GG. Well done, both players. Very intense game. Lots of fun. You love to see it. Oh. Great job, Wei. Great job. Oh, good for you, Tornado. Let's see who we've got going on. Dachshund's 1-1. All of the players who have lost previously are still in it. Let's take a look at Dachshund versus W. They're 2 of my favorite players. I may have clicked on the wrong thing. Well, W's in the game. That's fine. So some interesting choices coming out here for both players. We have Mustangs. We have not seen a lot of Mustangs within the tournament. Great generalist unit. Very quick. Able to shoot at ground and air. The shield coming out, keeping his units up for a moment. Not enough, though. These crawlers in the back. Quick crawlers with a speed specialist, probably? Nope, just very fast crawlers do make a difference. Look at them go. Just getting in there, chewing them up, moving on. You love to see it. This is why we don't see a lot of mass Mustang, just because it does take a little while to do the damage. Wow, W taking a big L on this one. Let's see what his next response is. Going with the senior attack specialist for W. He wants his units to hurt more. I do like that. Aggression is good. Blue player giving it a little bit longer of a choice. He likes to think a bit, and I like that. So he's invested heavily into these Mustang. He has to be thinking, what did I do right? How do I keep that going? I do like these crawlers. Interesting choices, getting some more Phoenix upgrades. And another shield. He knows W's got his back against the wall. W needs to be thinking, how do I overcome this? What is my next option? Grabbing sentry turrets, just be careful. We see a lot of units coming in on his flank. He knows that those units are there. He saw them last turn, so he's going to have to be thinking about dealing with those. Grabbing the more supply, grabbing an extra unit. Putting a mothership down here, an Overlord in the backline is not a bad idea. Instead, opting for a Rhino. A Rhino with self-destruct. Honestly, very fun. He's got 20 seconds and $450 to spend. W, how do you push a big W? I'm thinking getting some shields. These guys stink at taking out shields. They are level 4, though, so they will munch through it a little bit quicker than you'd think. Instead, opting for the range upgrade for his own Mustangs. Interesting choice. I do like it because it allows him to start shooting early at these little critters. Able to kill them all off very quickly. Phenomenal. But he triggers the sentry early. You hate to see it. The Rhino coming in, getting absolutely wrecked. But it looks like he's got enough. W pushing through for the W. This Overlord in the background does make a big difference. Just being able to significantly take a lot of damage. Now that most of the ranged is dead, it's all over. You like to see this marksman just plinking away in the background. Taking off a couple thousand health here and there. GG. Well played, W. Woo! Good game, good game. We've got 2 more rounds left. I guess we'll take a look at GCU versus Skeky. GCU was the first guy that we played. Skeky was in the background for a little while. Very interesting players. Oh, looks like this is our final round here. Mass Shield. I like the Mass Shield. That makes a big difference. It's do or die time. Spend all the money you can. Get everything. He's gotten everything but the supply. Has only gotten the supply. Oh, and extra reinforcements, but interesting choice. Look how filled this board is. Both players knowing that it's the end of the game. Looks like we did go for the mass supply. Looks like we're going for some units on the flanks. Interesting choices. Nukes going off. Units are moving in. Flanks are absolutely decimated on both sides. The flames are going. Oh, but these Stormcallers making a good show for themselves on the right-hand side. Pulling a lot of units that didn't need to be there off the main fight. These Wasps with the level 3 plus shields does make a big difference. Them being able to, or sorry, why do they have shields? I don't know. That guy definitely has a shield though. But he doesn't have the shield up. Oh, he does have the shield upgrade. He doesn't have the attack upgrade on the ground. Phenomenal. Looks like that was a quick win for Skeky. Good try, GCU. GCU had a great showing in the beginning. A phenomenal player. Truly phenomenal. But a little rough on these last couple of rounds. Oh, and here's old Dachshund. Dachshund lost. We've got a 3-minute break. So far, Safe is the player to beat. Safe and Frog, hey! We've been watching both of these for a long time. Looks like it's going to be pretty rough. We will return in a minute and a half. But it's coming down to the last 4 players here. Safe and Frog are both in first place. Whoever wins this is going to be the one to win the tournament. Or they're the only ones that can place for champion. Let's see how this goes. They're both taking a little bit of time to think about it. Opting for the marksman has been common within us. Frog taking an extra second. If this lasts longer than 5 rounds, the supply specialist was the pick. Gee Louie. Frog opting for the aerial specialist. I like the transition. He can immediately make that money back that you would from a supply specialist just by buying Overlord. You know, instead of the $400 to unlock it, it's free. Blammo. So what do we have here? We have good ranged capabilities on both sides. Really good spread from Safe. Safe tends to keep his units